This is the design of guilt as entrapment. Guilt is the manifestation of the relationship connection which enslaves you within and as the mind consciousness system for extended periods of time. It is interesting because it is actually from guilt and of guilt that most emotional turmoil of inner conflict originate from. Let me give you an example of how guilt of the mind enslaves you to a mind through a relationship connection of the emotional manifestation of guilt to a past experience that exists and you hold and you nurture and have remain within you as you, which generate and charge the mind consciousness system constantly and continuously, as you constantly and continuously exist and remain within and as guilt of you. Let's take an example. You have 3 girls, A, B, and C, that are best friends. A has got a boyfriend. B slept with A's boyfriend and went and told C about it. Now B and C is having the conversation. Now C is feeling compelled to tell A that B slept with A's girlfriend. Why? Because guilt was formed in C when B came and told C that B slept with A's boyfriend. Why? Why guilt? Why does guilt exist? Because of relationship obligated responsibility. Now C goes and tells A. A has a hissy fit and goes to B. B goes into absolute guilt. A's boyfriend goes into absolute guilt, and now C is also in guilt. Guilt is a disease. It is a virus transferred from one being to another, which fucks up relationships extensively. Why? Because guilt is like a virus coming inside the human physical body saying, I'm going to take over all your relationships separate from you outside in your world. I am your new relationship. I am guilt. And so guilt is inserted and manifested within the human physical body, and the human being define themselves according to guilt, and there is an injection of the virus into the mind consciousness system, of which the mind consciousness system feeds off. So this particular virus is actually the nurturing sustenance of the mind consciousness system. Therefore, it is interesting. Guilt is not real. Guilt only exists within self-dishonesty. Why? Guilt is a placement of manipulation. How? For instance, as I've said, B slept with A's boyfriend. B went to tell C. And then C went to tell A. C was the one that felt guilty if she wouldn't have said to A that B was sleeping with her boyfriend. Why guilt? What is guilt really within and of the mind consciousness system? Guilt is self-dishonesty in that moment, because in actual fact, C does not care, does not give a shit. But because she knows what's going to be the consequences if she's going to tell A, she knows what the consequences are. But instead of taking self-responsibility in realizing the situation, she goes into guilt, which is like going into guilt saying, oh no, I'm not in charge, or I'm not in charge of this situation, I'm merely giving you the message. And then she kind of steps back and say, there's all your shit. You take care of it. You handle it. When actually, what was he supposed to do? You know, what do you do in situations like that? If you be it necessary to go and tell that person, you go and tell that person. But it's realizing that you're taking that responsibility of informing that person of what was happening. There's no guilt involved. Why must guilt be involved? Guilt only exists in self-dishonesty. Because this being knew that if she's going to tell A about it, B is going to be really angry, and then apparently trust is broken. Really, friendship is broken. Really, relationship is broken. See, this entire situation is really out of proportion in totality. Everyone is guilty at the end. Everyone's friendship, relationship is broken up. Human beings, in that being is trapped in guilt for a very long time. And will remain in guilt in that ever since then. What does guilt do? Guilt eats you up inside you. You can suppress it as much as you want, but it's still there. It's always there. I'm giving you an example of how the mind consciousness system used guilt to entrap you in the mind, to always infinitely exist in guilt, as the mind consciousness system feeds off guilt. And also to realize that friendships, relationships, trust, and secrets are a lie. One huge lie within this existence, used to manipulate other human beings with. And when you actually did what was necessary to be done, to inform that being, listen, your boyfriend is cheating on you, do not continue this relationship, straightforward, direct, you now go into guilt because of the apparent friendship and relationship and trust bullshit that was going on in the triangle. Human beings in situations like these occur. Place such a being inside you and realize what will be the best for you as who you are. That moment was to inform that girl, but do not accept and allow yourself to go into guilt. Thank you very much.